it's very easy to define a boy's role by what his father either is or defines for the son. But then I think as societies move on, the father can define, or even the son can look at his father and define himself based on his father. But then the society and the generation of the time is really what defines that. And I don't think anyone really appreciates that. Anyone, I don't think, men, women, old people, young people, I don't think anyone appreciates just how much it's the generation that defines what, makes the man, what the man will be, his potential, And so I think that confusion is the crisis of identity that all the kids have to deal with. That all the boys especially have to deal with. Because I think, this is me, I might be, because I don't know this, but I'm just looking at my sisters. But I think with women, there's more of a mother to daughter, spoken, handed down things that, more so than it is with guys, because I'm not even from a dysfunctional home. I lived with my father till I was in mid-teens, so I can't even really say, like my father told me much about being a man or how to be a man or what being a man was all about at all. And he was around. He wasn't always in the house. He was out most of the times, as dads tend to be in that era, but still there was not much there. And so I can only imagine how much different it would have been for people whose fathers were not around at all, because it was just generationally, it was just different at that time. But even then, it's still the same as much as it is different, And so I think for young boys now, because what I did when I was growing up, which is wrong or right, or probably a bit of both, was I just looked more towards music artists that I looked up to. Maybe there's a film character that I liked his, I like that guy. That guy, he had the virtues that I thought were important. Those are the role models I had, and for better or worse, I think that's the choices that young boys end up making, is those role models. They tend to be very important choices, but no one realizes that. But then that's the only choices that they're making. They're not actually making choices based off virtue, based off, what is actually good in life, Yeah, that guy sounds good, Jay-Z sounds good, but if you look at his career choices, he's not the very, he might not be the best role model based off that, but if you're just looking off how good he sounds and how much records he's sold, that might be where you look at things. And I think every society, every generation has a different value system as well. Like you look at our value system in our...
Sorry, I'm not sure.
You look at our value system in our... Alexa's on one. We have a kind of different monetary based value system that has kind of overtaken everything, where what's good and what's bad is blurred by what makes money and what doesn't make money. And that's another thing that's in front of boys when they're trying to look at, what is their role growing up. All of these factors are on a young mind, usually teenage. So it's like, and also coming to a time in life where everyone is looking at the boy as to a factor of what can you do. And it's kind of the unspoken contract that boys have, that girls have as well, I'll admit to. But children have, but I think the pressure on a boy kind of gets fulfilled, where a girl can simply exist as a girl and just, find a man, get, and have children, and society will accept that for her. But for a boy, and a lot of boys do that, a lot of boys do the exact thing, find a girl, have a family, But society doesn't stop there with a boy, and that's the problem of where a lot of boys do. A lot of boys do just that. They do that to find a role, and a lot of girls too. And I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong for both sexes to do that to find a role. I think it should be the other way around. But both do that. But then I think society gets forgiving to the woman after that. As in, okay, you're a mother. This is your role. But as a father, you know what I mean, in society, and a young father, if we're talking on that level, the pressure then becomes more so like, what do you provide? What's your purpose? You know, how can you help this situation that you've created? If you can't help this situation, then you might as well stand out of the way because you're in the way of the situation. You know what I mean? And that's the message that's provided to that is, people don't see it. I don't think anyone really sees it, but it's the message that's provided. And so you have young men feeling isolated from anything, and with this tendency not to express ourselves that we guys just have, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we'll talk about, you know what I mean, a lot of stuff, but then there's a lot of stuff we won't talk about as well. It's women tend to be able to talk about these deep dark stuff that's killing them in their heart, and that's why I think men die earlier. It's just because, you know, all the unsaid stuff will eventually kill you. And I think it starts when we're young. It starts when, as boys, we're not really explained that it's all right to fail. I think that's the fundamental message that we don't really teach boys. I wasn't taught that at all. It's cool to fail. It's cool to fail until you find what you're good at not failing at, you know? It's okay. It's cool. And I think with that you'd get a lot of the anger and, you know, like that energy, that young energy that tends to kind of run amok in the streets that we see every day, you know, you'd get that if they just were cool with failing, you know, because that's what they take. I'm from the streets, yeah, and I'll be honest, that's the one thing that they let you do on the streets is they let you fail, you know. Someone will give you a bunch of drugs, you know, and they'll let you fail at selling it. You know what I mean? And if you fail, there'll be repercussions, and you'll learn their repercussions. But then they'll give you that opportunity to fail, which is all anyone ever needs in life, is an opportunity. You know what I mean? But then you need an opportunity with the safety net of knowing, okay, I can suck at this shit, you know, and then, you know, I find out afterwards, you know, maybe I need to move on to something else. And like, I know I'm being simplistic about it, but that's literally the difference between why young boys would see the streets as a more viable option than, you know, persevering through what a lot of people would see as, you know, the ideal way. Because I'm not the type of person to tell a young boy, oh yeah, stay in school, read the books, you know, get good at that, because in all honesty, that's not my experience of life. I mean, I've got a lot of friends on all aspects of life. The ones that finish school, I've got friends that, you know, left school and started a business. I've got friends that, you know, left school and went into crime. I've got friends that are dead, and I've got friends that are in prison. And on all bases, I can say the success ratio based on all decisions was all 50-50. There were friends that succeeded in crime, there were friends that, you know, didn't succeed in crime. There were friends that succeeded in business, there were friends that didn't succeed in business. There were friends that, you know, all of them chose what they chose. And so my idea to you is, again, just be cool with failure. Be cool with the fact that you might not make the right choice. But as long as you understand that this is my guidance, this is the type of guidance, I'm giving this guidance almost as if I wish I could get it to myself when I was young. You know? And it's just be cool with the fact that you might be good at something. You might be really good at something. And so it's like, if you're good at something, then yeah, try and be as good enough that you fail at that thing, you know? Try and, you know, be good enough to the point where you find someone that's better than you and you realize, oh wow, I need to be better to get to that level, you know? Because if you're always just good at something, then I don't know, life will never it will never actually satisfy you. It doesn't satisfy you until you understand why and how hard it is to be good at something. You know, that's the test, isn't it? The test is what makes the learning process so worthy, isn't it? Really, that's what we all strive for in life. But yeah, I know from experience that being a young man is very hard to find purpose. I spent all of my 20s, without exception, every single year, wondering what the hell, what am I supposed to be doing here? You know, I can rap. At the time, that's all I knew. I can rap, but no one seems to value my rap. It doesn't seem to be valued for anything. You know, no one's willing to pay me any money for this rap. But it's all I think I'm good at. You see what I mean? And I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And so, I mean, I was on the streets. I was doing all types of stuff, all types of crime, all the types of crime that was available to do. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm a bit good at this, you know, I'm a bit good at that, I'm a bit good at that. And I'd be doing it, and every time I do it, I get to a level where I'd be like either the best at it or get caught. You know what I mean? It was always the same, and I'd always start to realize that, yeah, you can do crime and you can keep doing this, but do you like it? And so that then became the guiding force for me, was if I liked it. And I started to, in the beginning, realize that, but I started to say to myself that I might not like doing crime, but no one will let me work. No one will pay me to do anything to earn as much money as, you know, these crime people that are putting me in this line are, you know. And so it became easier to just keep doing that. And that's the part of growing up, is the part of seeing that the risk long term is to your brain, it's to your dopamine sensors, it's to your reward factors in your brain. Of every time you take the path of least resistance, you will take the path of least resistance next time and next time and next time, until you train yourself that the path of least resistance isn't the place to be. It's the place that, you know, you find yourself. And if you want to get to the place that you want to be, you have to not take the path of least resistance. And until you find that, I know I might be talking in words that only I understand. I don't even know anymore sometimes, but I really think that that's the only way to truly get a hold of yourself and discipline yourself, is to learn that the easiest route is not always the best, you know. And that's, I think, my ending phrase for the young boy growing up that might be me, is that, you know, the easiest route might not be the best. And if you really enjoy it, you will know that.